They said alignment a few times. They want to be on the same page. They want to be bonded. They want to be moving in the same direction. They want to be connected.
Moving forward.
Moving forward, not looking back, connected, bonded, alignment. That was the message they had. That was the message they had. Right? And I was about to say, everyone that's ever had a press conference, I don't know how many people have had press conferences. I don't know if that's a common task. But oftentimes when there is a group press conference, you're sitting at a table with everybody has their own mic. Right before you go out there, there is that huddle where it's like, all right, everybody, remember, we're in this together. We're all doing this. We're all doing that. You get your ducks in a row on what the line is going to be, what the message is going to be. All right. All right. Remember, everybody, we're excited about the future. We're not going to talk about the past. I can tell you right now, they got together and said, we're aligned. We're aligned. We're aligned. Somebody could have raised their hand in that press conference, said, right here, Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, why did the chicken cross the road? Because we're aligned. It didn't matter what the conversation was. It was about aligned. We are all moving in the same direction.
Because we're going forward.
Yeah. We crossed the road because forward is where we wanted to go, and the chicken was aligned with us, and we ended up on the other side. Dave Canales, the on-field success, we're going to have to wait and see, right? That's the only way you're going to find out about the on-field success. Yet to be determined. But he will win some press conferences. That guy is a legit public speaker.
Oh, yeah.
Which, come on, he's only been a coordinator for a year. And position coaches, they're not often the mouthpiece of the organization. So you almost never heard from him in Seattle for his 13 years there. You heard from him rarely in Tampa during his year there. He stepped to that podium like he's been, I don't know, a politician of some kind, where he's been in front of groups quite often. David Newton of ESPN reported, this is just the little Easter eggs, the little nuggets, and there's a picture on the report. New Panthers coach Dave Canales wore cowboy boots to his introductory press conference. Read that sentence, I'm like, all right, bro, a little swag. Look at Canales.
See you.
Then you hit with this one. They are 15 years old from his days of selling cowboy boots before it became clear his future was in coaching. That's the story, right? That's Dave Canales, the storyteller. That's him up there understanding, right? It's I've got a buddy that is trying to be a baseball play-by-play guy, right? Mm-hmm. He has kept his Kmart name tag from when he was a loader and unloader at Kmart, and he has said, the first time I get to call a game in a major league park of any kind, you better believe my Kmart little name card, right? Because he was doing the overnight shift and trying to do the play-by-play during the day. That's going to be in my pocket so I know where I came from. That's the Dave Canales cowboy boots. Could have been like, we saw him get off the plane, right? And he was in his, the joggers that you have to have like a certain body percent fat to wear. Mm-hmm. And somehow it's like loose at the thighs but tight around the calves, and it makes you look like you can jump high. And he had some athletic shoes on. That's what he wears. He threw the cowboy boots on for the presser because that's where he came from. He had sayings and slogans. For a while, I thought he was talking in like fortune cookie sayings, right? He went down, it's all about the football. It's all about the ball. He went to, we're not going to worry about what we can't do. What can we do? He went to, I don't like synonyms. Tell it to me simple. He went to all of these little sayings and mottos, and he was prepared and he was ready to tell a story. Got the perfect amount of choked up when talking about his family. Right, not enough to derail the entire press conference, but just enough to make everybody go, "Aw." And then he got to the football stuff, handled it extremely well. We're going to become what Bryce is great at in the pass game. That doesn't really tell us anything, but man, it sounds exactly like what I want to hear.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, okay. What is Bryce good at? Let's figure that out.
Let's hear what he has to say. This is how Dave Canales put it in his own words, talking about his experience with quarterbacks and how he's going to help develop Bryce.
We are going to become what Bryce is great at in the pass game. We're going to grow to the capacity that he can handle. There's got to be a commitment and a discipline about that. There was a growth curve there with Baker. Here's where we're at today. Based on the information we have, let's get into these situations to see where he looks most confident. When I see that back foot planted in the ground and that ball rips out of there without any hesitation, I know we got something. Let's find more of those. Let's put it in 3 different personnels and a couple formations and motions.
Again, just vague enough that it's like, all right, he said something there. But then he gets a little specific at the end that he added that he wants to get rid of the ball in 2.7 seconds or less. He gets just specific enough. It was a wonderful, wonderful job by Dave Canales. Here's more from Canales, on his evaluation of Bryce from last year.
First and foremost, in Seattle, we never were anywhere close to touching the first overall pick. And the more that I got ready for this interview and started watching Bryce, looking at my notes from his eval, that's just a year ago. We're evaluating him as a player, as a person. And with all the information that we could, I just got more and more fired up about the opportunity to have this amazing talent. And he's the guy. He's the right guy that we all talk about when we have that quarterback, that franchise, face of the franchise type of player. And that got me really excited.
All of the reports were that Dave Canales smashed his interview, did really, really well from the Zoom to the second interview. That's why.
You can see why. You can hear it.
That's why. Because one of the most important things is, right, they kind of built reverse. Usually you go owner, GM, head coach, and then they get to pick their quarterback, and everyone is, ready for this, aligned with the quarterback. Aligned. Well, they had the quarterback already, so they had to build in reverse. They needed to go get the guys that were aligned in the other way. So Dave Canales had to prove to them that he loves Bryce Young the way they love Bryce Young, and that's what he did. That's what he did. And then it's all about the ball. Let's get the football right. Let's get a couple slogans. Let's put them on T-shirts. Let's get out there and play football.
I did love how he brought up even just simple stuff like anytime we're coming off the edge on a blitz, we're getting near the quarterback, we're trying to rip up the elbow, or when they say rip at the elbow, you're trying to strip the ball away. Yeah. Exactly. Carolina only had 1 strip sack the entire season on defense. It was on the 3rd play of the game in week 1 against Atlanta. It was Brian Burns. That's the only strip sack they had the entire year.
It's probably at that moment is actually probably when expectations for the Panthers peaked. Right then it was like a Super Bowl, and then it just went downhill from there. The turnover stuff is exciting. The +1, he gave stats. It's exciting. But most importantly, there weren't the giant red flags that we've seen in the past at these press conferences. Mm-hmm. David Tepper was in and out quick, faded to the background. They had the support of the previous players, a whole bunch of former players there. They said the right things. They did the right things. They emphasized the right things. Now, that doesn't mean there's 100% success rate from this point out, but what it does mean is the giant red flags, the giant danger zones, right? The warning signs, the toxic signs, those aren't there yet, and the further you can push them off, the better. Hopefully they never show up, but the further you push them off, the better. Dave Canales could teach a public speaking class.